I'm Crystal.
And I'm Zach.
And this is Bantha, our tiny home on wheels.
It's a 1997 Stewart & Stevenson. We bought it 3 years ago out of Texas. We've spent 2 years building it out, and it's still not done.
That's true. Everybody always asks, how much did you pay for it? So we bought it for $30,000. But when we did that, it was a truck, and it did have the habitat, the box on the back, but it was completely bare inside. It was just the shell.
So dual slides on this, all folded up. It's 8 feet wide, and unfolded we end up being about 14 feet. Original equipment is a hand crank. It takes about, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes to unfold both sides, but we typically use an electric drill.
So this is the back porch and the door that we usually use the most. Both doors here can open up. Generally we just open up one side, and this is the entrance to our home. So come on in. The inside of this house is very simple and uncluttered, and that is by choice. A lot of people respond like, "Ooh, it's so industrial," but both of us actually like the industrial feel and look anyway, and this is still a reflection of who we are, and we're very comfortable, and we purposely keep it really bright and open. When everything's opened up, we're 14 by 15, so about 210 square feet. Before we even found Bantha, we were designing and talking about what we wanted to build, and there were a few things that were areas we just didn't want to compromise: bathroom, shower, big sink in the kitchen, and for Zach it was king size bed. I would have been willing to downsize to a queen, but Zach said there's no reason to do that. We will find a way, and he sure did. So we have a king-size mattress that goes up to the ceiling during the day, which is great. I think it's a Happy Jack system, and of course he had to customize it to work here in Bantha. Super easy to raise and lower the bed. Just buttons here. It comes down out of the ceiling. We keep all our blankets and everything up there. We do like to go everywhere we can, and places nobody else can get to. That's the best. But that means you're often on unlevel ground. But that's not a problem. We can park on any kind of ground, and then you just level the bed out because it's on independent motor. So you can, raise and lower. And that's kind of our garage area back there where the batteries and the Victron and all that. So I really actually like that we got a bigger TV, and it just fills the space really good. When the bed's up, there's LED lighting underneath, so that lights up, and we can change the color, so I just love that. This is actually our kitchen, which I'm sure you recognize it as a workbench, and we bought it from Costco. Zach cut a hole in the top and put this induction cooktop in, which I really love it. And there's something super satisfying about cooking a meal knowing it's completely powered from the solar panels on the roof. I don't know why, I just really enjoy that. It feels good. And we also chose the induction cooktop because we decided we didn't want propane in the house. Nothing in here needs propane to operate. This is basically our entire kitchen. I keep everything we need in here, including, seasonings and foods and pots and pans. We just get really creative with storage and how to keep things. Like, we use a lot of magnets in here. So like this, here's my baking sheet, and I keep all my knives right here. They're just super easy. But basically, when you live tiny, you have to really get creative and take advantage of every little space. Like, this is a really tiny space, but now it stores all my cutlery. So that's not taking up drawer space. So I even have a sous vide that we keep with us in here. I mean, we actually have everything we need, and even more than we need, in this tiny space.
Why did we buy a military truck to convert?
Because he's 12. That's my favorite answer. But really, we ended up buying a military truck because we first started this journey of talking about building a container home. We started looking at trucks, and Zach found Bantha online, and I think it was love at first sight.
A lot of people asked us, why didn't you just get an RV? Well, we wanted to go places RVs can't go. So we built this.
So we designed a lot of flexibility in the shower. This is made to where you can stretch it outside if you want to have an outdoor shower. Stainless steel because we needed it to be really solid. Basically, we keep 80 gallons of water with us, which is great because that allows me to have really long hot showers. We did design it with 2 doors very purposefully because when the rig is shut, that is actually an entrance into the habitat. So this door is just on a slider, and this door. So you can shut both doors and have a fully enclosed shower, or it's a hallway when the rig is shut. My dad actually made as a gift for us the wood shower floor. It's made out of teak, so that's really nice to stand and when you're taking your shower. This is actually the other side of the shower is now we're in the kitchen. We designed the sink big, and because this is not an RV that we're just going to use on a weekend here and there. This is our home, we live in it. So we wanted to make everything as comfortable and easy to use as we could. And we probably maybe go a little over the top on some things like, why do you have an industrial sprayer? Well, why not? Again, my father made this, but cutting board so you can be flexible on your space. You can work here or work there. One person can be actually using the sink and washing dishes. Everything's made to work from either side. This is our kitchen table, or our table. We eat breakfast together every morning right here. Sometimes it's an office, sometimes it's where we play a game. And what's great about the table is just like everything else in this rig, it's meant to fold down and be out of the way. This little box right here is a pretty cool little feature. It came with the truck. We call it a military teapot. You just fill it with water and flip the switch and it'll heat it up. What's so cool about tiny living is everything's so close. So we can actually turn this on and have hot water for coffee and tea before we even get out of bed in the morning.
I think our best memory so far is taking this thing out 4x4 trails out to the north rim of the Grand Canyon, parking right on the edge of the Grand Canyon for a week.
I think it was the first night when we stood and watched the sunset, and it almost makes me cry thinking about it right now. It was so beautiful, and it's just, I don't know, I can't come up with the words. It's so great, and we've had so many moments like that where it's a reality check. When we're doing this, we're actually doing this. It's great. In the back corner is our bathroom. We keep a cartridge toilet system, which we actually are quite happy with that. These cabinets are for like toothbrushes and toiletries and things like that. And recently Zach got a 3D printer, which has been fantastic because he's able to really customize down to the littlest detail, getting us neat and tidy and organized. And one of my favorite things he's done recently is make it to where all my products are secure in the cabinet, because when we go off-road, things get moved around and inevitably you come in the house and open a cabinet and things fall and break and so forth. So using the 3D printer and his brains, he has come up with so many cool things to keep everything neat and tidy and where it belongs.
So for our off-grid heat, we use a hydronic heater. It's the one that's spec'd out for these vehicles to be in the Arctic, so it puts out massive BTUs to keep the place nice and warm. For on-grid heat, we use a mini split. Above that, we've got our batteries. We recently upgraded those to lithium iron phosphate. They are 24 volt batteries because we run a 24 volt system, and we've got 600 amp hours. All of our electronics, we use the Victron system, which we really like. So our inverters, 3000 watt inverter and charger. We also use the MPPT for our solar charger, And then we have the Victron battery monitor and color control. We also carry 2 generators with us. They're just Yamahas. You can chain them together. We don't connect the house batteries to the truck batteries. I want to keep those complete separate systems. All the 110 was in place when we bought the truck. It also had 24-volt run, so we added some USB chargers, and it monitors what our 12-volt voltage is. These trucks are made with standard components. It's got a Cat 3116 engine in it, Allison transmission, Rockwell axles. So a lot of maintenance I'll do myself, but when it goes above my pay grade, we can take it to any diesel mechanic, and once they get over that it's camo colored, it's the same parts. These are very noisy when they come stock, so Crystal's put a lot of work into insulating it. We did add a backup camera so that we can make sure the Jeep's still on all 4 wheels instead of on its top. Stock 55-gallon fuel tank. We only use propane for hot water. We added 3 underbelly boxes just for storage, tools, spare parts. On this side we've got our air tanks for the air brakes. We added a storage box for tire chains in case we get stuck in the snow. Moving up, we've got a on-demand propane hot water heater, our air intake, and then a marine grade hot water tank for shore power, or it's also tied into the hydronic system for hot water. And then above that is the mini split for heating and air conditioning. Bantha's got 37-inch tires on it. They weigh about 400 pounds apiece. We did blow one out last year. Took about 3 hours to change it. Real fun job. These have a CTIS system, so you can adjust the air pressure in them for going off-road, sand, and run flat. So if they get a hole, it'll just pump as much air into it as the truck can handle.
Once we decided we were going to do this, Zach dedicated an entire year working full-time building the house. So when it came time to move in, we were really excited. So it was fun. But it was quite a challenge. We're used to having lots of storage space, big, huge closets. For me, the clothing was the biggest challenge, which sounds so trivial. It's not that big of a deal.
The downsizing for me was a lot easier. We're on a month-long road trip and went up into Canada for a concert, and somebody broke into the Jeep and they stole all my stuff. So I was just left with whatever I had left.
We still haven't replaced all his clothing.
Thanks for having a tour of our tiny house. I'm Zach.
And I'm Crystal. And you can find us on social media. All our Facebook, Instagram, website, everything is at M1087FMTV. And we'd love for you to follow us. And the links to all our social media are in the description.